Welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits, coming to you from the Recycle Garage in Said with Confidence, sunny Santa Cruz, California. We are back, baby. We're back in so many ways. The rain is gone, the sun is out, people came out, we're having fun, people are riding, and we have a full studio once again. I think more because of our guest and less because of the good weather. But we'll get to that. Hey, everyone. This is Eliza, and I have a little amigo. My little buddy, the amigo. Having fun with it, but apparently it might have...
It might be a death trap.
It might be a death trap. Yeah.
It had some in utero issues.
Uh-oh.
We'll see. Apparently there's maybe some loose fasteners. So it's going to be in need of going through. Yeah, well, John Donald said, so I was riding it, and then a bolt fell out of the wheel, and then I put it back in, and it stripped. So you might want to check that. That's all the report I got. I'm like, oh, geez.
Well, there's more than one bolt, though.
It was an extra.
Well,
Chinese metallurgy is wonderful.
Well, he was about to take off down the driveway, and all of a sudden, the whole thing's rattling. Because we know what this thing sounds like when it runs, right? Like a cheese grater or something, and it's rattling. And all of a sudden, dum, 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 boom. There's a bolt goes on the ground, and John was about to take off. Like, hang on, son.
Yeah,
and it got worse from there.
Those bolts that are made out of cheese.
It just makes it more exciting. Well, let's get to who is here in the studio, and it is nice to have a full studio for a while. Joining us, been a while since you've been here. It's Charlie.
I come every week.
No, that is true. Just not stay for the podcast. You get married and get fed at home, and you just don't stick around.
That's not true.
That is so true.
I'm here all the time.
Let's see. Also joining us. This is your third time?
Very first.
Whoa! What?
Yeah.
No.
First
No way,
time?
really?
Way.
Wow.
Way.
Scotty is joining us.
Way.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You come and hang out at the garage all the time. But we'll get to why you're here because you were a surprise with the surprise guest.
I'm just as surprised as you are.
Yeah, I know. Running the board tonight, it's Stumpy John.
Hey, everybody. Hey, pouring one out for my boy Robbie Knievel. Rest in peace. Fly in peace. Best stuntman ever.
Okay.
Says his dad. That's what his dad said.
All right. And I just wanted to say how proud I am that Emma has remained this quiet so far.
I've been doing my best.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
You've been holding it in. I've been watching you. Emma on the Classy Girl couch.
Aloha, darlings. I'm thrilled to be here.
Thank you for making it up here. I know you almost didn't.
Yeah, I had quite a busy day helping friends with broken bikes. But
and I guess Flaming Crotch?
yeah, the bike actually set itself on fire.
that wasn't after the naked ride?
No.
Oh, if only.
That would have been rough.
If only.
Oh, I would have given
Yeah,
anything for my bike to be on fire for the
Barbecue
naked ride last night.
Yeah.
I would have paid a lot of money for that.
I tell you what, Henry
It's
was...
supposed to be an internal combustion engine, not an external combustion
right.
engine.
This was every inch the infernal combustion engine, let me tell you.
All right, well, let's keep going around the room because we're not even halfway done.
No.
Also on the Classy Girl couch tonight, joining us for the first time is Mo.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I feel really comfortable in this room. I might have some toy motorcycles to drop off at some point.
Great.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm running out of room, though. There's a couple up there.
There's room.
All right.
There used to be more trains.
Yeah. Going around the other side of the room, it's... What did I say? Craig the Giant. That's right. Craig the Giant.
The juice is loose.
Oh, my God.
Which juice would that be?
Oh, you never fail. I love it.
Ho, ho.
Also joining us, who I think has Amigo envy. It's Ray Ray.
What's up?
Yeah. Now that you've seen it, do you still want an Amigo?
No, I want the real thing. I don't want to knock off.
Yeah. Well, it'll be fun. Let's wait till we put the ramp out, start doing some jumps.
Tighten the bolts first.
I know. Well, that's how you find the loose bolts. You just get a Charlie or somebody to
There you go.
do
Charlie
jumps.
will do it.
Yeah, I mean, if the goal is to break the motorcycle, you can have a lot of fun with it.
Charlie was the first person who scraped the fender on the asphalt. I heard it as he one o'clocked it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty metal.
Did that turn.
Yeah. Also,
The clutch just kind of snaps.
Yeah, I know. It's too much power. You can't handle it.
Yeah.
Also, here in the room, it's Naked Jim.
Hey, what's that? Good to be here.
And
And
in Naked you were last night.
yes, we were a group of us naked.
Yeah, we'll
Emma
get
was
Sorry, I
part
missed
of the
that.
party, but yeah, desert days, get on it. Dirt bikes, ride dirt bikes.
And if only he was here, there's a good chance I might have seen Bagel naked as well.
There's a very good chance, yes.
Yes. So, Mo, you've heard about this naked ride thing?
Up until recently, I didn't know much about it, but I feel like I saw 2 or 3 videos in the past couple days. Looked cold last night.
It was incredibly
Yeah.
cold.
Looked
There's
cold.
video. There's video.
As proof.
Maybe leaving somewhere.
Yeah, I
There's a-
posted video.
Yeah, I sent it to a certain city over across the hill.
Okay, because Emma has warrants, so we can't have that out there.
Yeah, you've got to be careful with that.
Enter
But
Interpol.
having done, I think it's my 7th or 8th midwinter naked ride, and last night was by far the coldest.
It's all about the armpits.
It is, yeah, because you think that the bits that are going to get cold don't get cold. Who would have thought your armpits, of all things? But
Unless
it's
you have
like-
You don't
piercings,
shave them.
apparently.
It's no, I've got my winter cut, honey. Let me tell you.
I can tell you.
Just like Ray Ray's winter sack.
Yes.
Like
But
a
let me
buffalo.
tell you, and of course, Adrian, God bless her, took us all on the freeway.
Oh no way!
And it's like, oh my, it was like being stabbed with 1,000 knives. It was that cold. It
was
really
like it was like 30 seconds of freeway.
Yeah, but nevertheless, that 30 seconds was like an hour.
I was behind Henry at a stoplight.
Besides, you had
Henry was convulsing so bad, I thought he was going to spontaneously combust.
You had clothes on. What do you know?
I didn't.
Yeah, Charlie was naked.
Yeah.
Of course,
Charlie had a
it was.
passenger.
It was Jeremy. It was.
There was
Yep.
somebody with
Yeah,
a jacket on.
Yeah.
Because
In
Jeremy
the
was
videos.
sleeping.
Yeah. So, and I just want to say shout out to the vampires who throw this this ride. Just host it out of the garage. Good turnout, good time. It was a good, safe function. There have been
No, safety is not.
no.
Hey, there were helmets on, right?
Nothing like, anyway.
It's we make people feel comfortable. And like Emma, you were like, who are those old people watching us? It's because some friends had shown up because they always know there's something exciting
Well,
happening.
no, I know, but when everyone's taking pictures and shooting video, I'm like, hang on.
But then one of them was like, so I have a scooter. Do you think I can ride with them next year? I'm like, yes, you can. She was getting like, I want to do this too.
Yeah.
So, just a good event. And yeah, it's not meant to be comfortable. People were commenting they don't understand why it happens. It's like, because.
Well, the
man.
idea is it's like a polar bear swim. So
Right.
that's why they do it in January. It's like going in for a swim in the ocean in January. It's just the motorcycle version.
Somebody had said, why would you do it in the winter? And I just responded to weed out the weenies.
I'm a weenie.
It's like the first 100 yards of a hard enduro event. Yeah, okay.
And let me tell you, with the cold weather, it sure did weed out the weenies last night.
Oh, yeah. It sucked them right up.
If you can't eliminate them, you can shrink them.
Oh, bagel. So yeah, good ride, good time, and I think that just kind of kicks off our busy year we're having. In fact, some of us went down and checked out the site for our rally in March,
Oh, yeah.
the Misfits rally, and
Yes.
I am excited. We have a great spot. We have a whole section of Hollister Hills dirt biking area. But we have our own exit to go out, so street bikes can be in there. It's all great. So we're going to have dirt riding, street riding, an adventure ride, lessons. We're working on a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, here's a question, because, of course, I've got a street bike. So riding from the street to the campsite.
You just have to go in the main road and then down it's all, you could drive an RV on the road.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing
Yeah, you
that
could do
you
it.
couldn't take an RV on.
It's like a dirt parking lot.
Oh, okay.
You could also take it on the TT track. You're welcome to. We'll go
Yes.
out there and rally a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
I want to see you on the Suzuki on the TT track.
On Rufus? Yeah, I think I could do that. On the RF, yeah.
So, we're taking signups for it right now. Go to breakingawaytrips.com and you'll look for the Motorcycles and Misfits Rally when you look under trips and sign up now. The cost is $250 for a 3-day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That includes 2 dinners, 2 breakfasts, the camping, and a T-shirt. An event T-shirt, and all of the classes and lessons. Like people like Charlie's making himself available if somebody wants to get a lesson in big adventure bike riding.
I suppose I am.
He'll take him out. For Micah has made herself available. Somebody wants a lesson on like smaller bikes. Jim, like everybody.
Yeah,
who
fear. I
has,
teach fear.
everybody.
Fear and pain. Come with me.
I teach how to tip over at stops.
Craig's the one that can ride.
No.
Good Lord.
Emma's going to show you how to change your tire.
Well, I originally signed up to do a course on actually how to change a tire in the field just with irons, but I think I'll probably do a couple of other little courses as well if there's enough interest.
Yeah,
Wheelbarrow racing.
Yes.
Well, what's nice too is the site. It's a beautiful spot. You do have it all to yourself, and there's hot showers and bathrooms.
And I think we'll have to set up
And a big area. We can barrel race in there at nighttime.
And we'll set up the mini bike trials course.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to have a great time. So go to breakingawaytrips.com, sign up for the rally. We have limited spots.
And we can do porta potty racing. That's the best.
Porta potty tipping.
How much do you tip a porta potty?
How much?
Yeah, like
I'm not sure. When you're in there, we'll let you know.
10% of the volume.
So we've been following for the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
We've been giving updates on the Dakar. We started out with why should you watch? Why should you be interested?
Because it's brilliant, that's why.
Yeah, and then part of the reason we got the TV out in the garage was to be able to put on stuff like that and watch the updates. And it's so exciting. And just watching it, I've had so many questions.
Yeah, and we even talked about all the different classes and categories, and we even talked specifically about the Malle Moto.
Right.
That even came up.
That is the hardcore. That's real biker shit right there. So much to my surprise, I found out that one of the contestants, what do you call it? Participants.
Racer?
Crazy guys. Crazy people.
Finishers.
Crazy person.
Is right here from Santa Cruz. So I reached out and got him here. My Hart, you're the man right now.
Oh, thanks. It was an adventure.
Wow. So we're gonna have a lot of questions, and we're gonna be talking a lot about this. I just wanted to first find out, how do you qualify? How do you get in?
Good question. So I started racing off-road rally in North America in 2015, and typically that happens south of the border for a lot of insurance and permit reasons.
Yeah.
So there's two events, Baja Rally and Sonora Rally, and I would say that Sonora Rally is the real qualifier. So they have this thing called a Road to Dakar Challenge, and if you win it, you win an entry fee, and there's some rules, like you can't have competed in the Dakar before or previously. And when my team and I went into it this past edition, we agreed that if one of us won, we'd split the money or the entry fee.
Yeah.
And in the end, there was only two of us. So my teammate David won, and I got half of my entry fee comped. But your specific, resume when you're applying for that race, they take the Sonora Rally pretty seriously. Like they would look at that and your results, and then accept your application. Everybody thinks you can just get into this race,
Right.
and if you look at old numbers for the race in the South America years, it was like 188 bikes. That's a lot of bikes. This year, there was only 127. So they're really careful with my words, but they're lowering the bike numbers. Maybe it's a financial thing, but it's also a logistic thing. This year, they raced through the empty quarter in Saudi Arabia, and I think they were trying to take less water in and have less extraction and less logistics for issues. So the first 4 days of this event, even though there were only 127 bikes, it was a bit of in hard enduro, you'd call it a squid filter. They were trying to eliminate people. I mean, it was 4 days of just the longest, hardest days I've ever had on a bike, and rocks and late nights and everything. So, in 2022, I think only 10 bikes didn't make it to the finish line. They eliminated 10 bikes on the first day this year.
Wow.
So
where did you place for Sonora?
I'd have to check, but probably 12th overall or 11th overall. And
So that's where you got to be able to potentially get in?
They liked it that I've been racing for 8 years. I think that, I think I got a little lucky. We had a good person doing the company I rented a bike from over there, has a good standing with the ASO. And the ASO, for those of you who don't know, they organize the Tour de France bike race in the summer, and they do the Dakar in the winter. And those are the two events that they do. It's the Amaury Sports Organization. So pretty serious organization, but they were, I'm pretty sure, declining applications. Mm-hmm. And the company that we rented a bike from has some pull. So I don't want to say I was lucky, but I needed all the help I could get.
So I want to go back kind of a lot further than that. Because we get a lot of people in here who are involved with racing. We get a lot of people who have been involved with the sport in general. And you've been riding competitively for 8 years.
Well,
in this format.
Competitively is a tough...
But
I mean, I've been competing in this discipline since 2015.
2015.
Prior to that, there was no racing. There was no...
And, okay, now I'm going to put this as succinctly as I possibly can, because you are among friends, and it's just us in this room. You ain't 21, are you?
No,
So
I had to get it done. I mean,
so that really what got you involved is it's a bucket list thing. If I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it.
There was a bit of that, but also, to be honest, in the 45 years of Dakar, no Americans ever finished the Malle Moto class.
Right.
So
Never finished.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the furthest an American had ever made it. It's worth fact checking, but I think it was 5 stages, and that was when it was in South America.
What is Malle Moto?
Malle means Malle means trunk in French, Malle. And I keep saying Malle Moto, but they've changed the name of the class to Original by Moto.
Yeah.
We call it OBM for short, but it's the same. It's the hardest.
You're living out of a suitcase.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's a small trunk.
Yeah, so you can explain. So basically, they're not getting the sponsors. They don't get the RV and the mechanics and everything. These guys are living out of a trunk. But you get a tent, sleeping bag, tires, and a trunk.
You get a set of wheels that are built up,
wheels?
so you can hot swap your wheels, and then you can take your wheels off to get
Somebody's in trouble.
You can take your wheels off to get prepped for the next disaster, if you will. So if you come in with a bunch of bent wheels, you can just swap into wheels you have prepped in the cage. Everybody has a cage and a semi, and your stuff's in that cage.
You're prepping your own wheels, or is it they prepping for you?
When you show up for stage 1, everything you've done up to that point is you, and then after that, you can drop them off at the Michelin BF Goodrich scenario. Mm-hmm. And so with OBM, you're right next to the food tent, which is right next to the BF Goodrich Michelin, service trucks. And luckily, we don't have to walk far. I don't know if you can imagine how big a bivouac is, but it makes Burning Man. Not that I've been there either, but it looks small.
Weren't you also near the loud generators?
Oh yeah, everything's loud.
Yeah. So yes,
the cars and the trucks tune all night. When the mechanics get done at 2, they take them out to get gas and clean out their injectors or whatever they're doing, and there's no rest there.
Were you guys racing more or less the same days as the pro classes were, just finishing at a different time?
Well, it doesn't matter what class you're in. You start based on your finish time.
Yeah. So everybody,
the bivouac moves.
The bivouac moves daily.
We had some stages out of a city. Logistically, they'd take us into a city called Hale, Hell, however you want to say it. And we'd do a big loop and finish there, and then do another big loop and finish there, and then we'd take off.
Yeah, that's wild.
So you said you haven't been racing that long. When did you set your sights on this and say, I can do this?
When I figured out I could refinance my house.
We might as well. But we might as well get this, because sooner or later we have to talk about money. And
well, there were 5 guys sitting around, and these 5 guys have sprinters that are way nicer than mine. I mean, mine's finished in E-Track on the inside, and theirs have diesel heaters and things for the kids and showers. And when those guys are sitting around drinking whiskey, maybe you shouldn't sit around with them. And for their good ideas,
we call that peer pressure.
Yeah.
But I mean, a sprinter's 150 plus when you start getting them out. Yeah. But the point is this: so you did the Sonoma, and that gained you half your entry fee. What is the entry fee for Dakar?
30?
I'd have to double check, but it's 22 or 25,000.
Okay.
Oh, I saw it listed at 30,000
So-
for bikes.
Well, that might be the premier class.
But nevertheless, so let's say, so first off, you got half that, so you're 12,000 in the hole just to enter.
Yeah, and when I decided to do this, I didn't do it thinking I could go out and ask for money and be funded, because
Right.
I don't have the speed to say, hey, I'm going to go win this. So when I thought it was a great idea to do this, I knew I could self-fund myself.
Right.
Is that yeah?
Okay, so you've thrown down the entry fee. Now, what did you do about a bike? Did you ship your bike out there? Did you get a bike locally?
It's a good question. So because I'm unfamiliar with the Rally factory replica, and I knew working on it was going to be critical, I bought one from a dealer in Mexico, because you can't get them in the U.S. They don't have EPA stickers, right? So we paid full Mexican retail,
which was what
for 3 of these things.
Oh my gosh! So you bought
and let's say what the bike is.
It's a
replica. What?
KT? Sorry.
Yes, the winningest bike at Dakar.
The KTM 450 Rally factory replica. There's a 450cc engine limit, so it can't be any bigger than that. And you can't get them in the U.S. And the U.S. CPA and this and that, they just won't even touch it. To tune them down, to dumb them down enough to get them into the States is not cost effective. So by the time we got our bikes to the border from Guadalajara, that was with about $1,000 a bike delivery fee. And however it worked, we paid full Mexican tax, but that number is close to 36. And so I didn't want to learn how to work on my bike in the dark, in the sand,
and that's
in the rain,
quite smart.
in Saudi Arabia. So does that need to happen? No. Was it helpful for me? I'm going to say yes.
That's smart.
Okay.
So when you get to a company, and if I wanted to ship my bike, I would lose it for 4 months there and 4 months back. So the day my entry gets accepted, I basically would have to ship my bike to France to make a boat at Thanksgiving to get to Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
That doesn't really work. I needed my bike to practice and ride and train and tune all fall. So went with a bike rental option. The bike rental option is basically about $16,000. And so when you get a package through a race team in Europe, I'm going to say that number is basically close to 60. There's a lot of math there, but it's 12 tires, it's 12 mooses.
Right, and so on and so forth.
It goes on and on, yeah.
I know where you're going with this.
Bro,
So,
what do you mean?
Well, I was going to say, just running some very, very rough figures in my head, probably 120.
By the time I got done with plane tickets and everything else, it's somewhere between 100 and 115.
That's...
But, I could sell that bike. I mean, now that it's here and it's plated in Montana,
Yes.
I mean, I could recover some costs, but I really like the bike, so I'm trying to keep it together,
Can we just go back a little bit and say what kind of riding did you do before? And what was your experience level?
LA Barstow Vegas was probably my first point-to-point stuff, and I really appreciate the backroad discovery routes now. I don't think they were really in place in 2008 when I got back into riding. When I was a kid, I had a 1975 XR75 made the same year I was born, and I could never get it off the property I grew up on because you'd go through a little stream in the back and the electrical stuff right behind the fender would get wet, and I'd have to wait for it to dry, and all my friends would leave me there. And anyway, it was a long time before I got back into bikes, but I got a 2005 KTM RFS 450 EXC. Guy was going through a divorce, sat next to a sprinkler in his backyard, needed some money, and it only had like 700 miles on it, but that was really 2008. It all kind of
That's a pretty steep climb from that till Dakar.
Yeah, and I didn't really set the world on fire there either. So I mean,
You made it.
I didn't come from a racing background.
So, but just watching it on TV, and especially those dunes. How did you how did you train? How did you prepare for that?
What's your? I think what Liza's getting to is what's your exercise regimen? Because I mean, you're a big guy. You look like a very, very strong man.
Yeah,
I think you've got a lot of strength.
I sink in the sand,
but
I sink in the sand. So
you've got a lot of mass to move around as well. I mean, it's
what was his name? Max Klein, that skinny kid.
Mason
Klein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I flew over with him on the plane, and all he did was eat the whole way there. His dad would just put food in front of him, and he'd eat. And he lost 18 pounds at last year's Dakar, and he doesn't have 18 to lose.
Yeah,
right?
Not at all.
Yeah, so where did you train to learn how to ride in dunes like that?
The Sonora Rally offers very unique access to something called the Altar Dunes, which is basically the ebb or the erg. There's only 5 of them in the world, but basically if you can picture how the Colorado River has formed the Sea of Cortez, south of Yuma and near a border town called San Luis Rio, Colorado, it makes this a massive dune field. And there's other places to train in the sand in North America, but that is the closest, and that's why the organizer, Darren Skilton, has provided that as, the breeding ground for people going to Dakar.
Right.
It's as close as you can get.
And how much time did you spend down there?
Just the races I've done. I wish I could say we've trained there. I guess we took those RFRs when we got them out there. I over-oiled my chain and tried to make it look dirty before I smuggled it across the border. But for training, we did some big loops this summer. Some BD, we tried to do the Idaho BDR in about 3 days with tents, and you're basically just really good at dealing with your tent because of the mosquitoes. And I'm not a real big fan of riding in dust, and I usually just slow down and let the dust settle and go. And one of my teammates was like, we need to go up to essentially the commercial logging lanes in Alberta. And I didn't really know what he meant, but there's like these, the logging trucks and the natural gas trucks run on these rows that they've made, running semis and double axle semis or double hookup semis, tandems, I guess. And you've never seen dust like this ever. And I was better at it by the end.
I was going to say,
and it's a terribly crowned road. Like, it's so unsafe. I don't even know.
But and you personally, you do an exercise regimen, you watch what you eat, you make sure you've got the stamina to get through this.
Yeah, I'm sitting here drinking a Coca-Cola, but, I haven't had one. I haven't had one in a while. I did CrossFit for the past year. Leading up to it, I was trying to take it as seriously as I could. Maybe a year and a half. Actually, when COVID started, so losing track of time. But it's. For endurance training, there's probably 3 things that are the best, and they directly relate into core strength, like that, simulate standing on pegs, and that would be a stationary rower, any kind of a stand-up paddle board, like a race board, and riding a bicycle or an e-bike, whatever you want to call it.
So you get the idea.
It's always been a dream. You get the
idea. You get accepted. You get the funding. All the things are falling in place. You get there. You're. What's the energy like? And you're there with some other Americans.
So 5 of us went. 5 of us went together. There was another American racing, Malle Moto. He's a dual citizen from the Czech Republic. His name's Peter Vajcek. We call him Angelo or Wolfie. And he's raced a car 3 times prior as a Czech. He did it twice with a mechanic and once Malle Moto. And he got his U.S. passport and raced Malle Moto this year. So the 2 of us finished the Malle Moto class. And he's a great guy, super encouraging the whole time.
He was 7th, I think.
That sounds right.
And you were 15th?
Yeah, 15th out of 27. Was there 25 of us?
So you're there, and I mean,
when I walked into the bivouac,
first time. What's it like?
Well, you walk up to your bike and your box, and there's a guy next to you, and he just looks at you and he goes, "First time," and you're like, "Yeah, how could you tell, right?"
Yeah.
And he just voluntarily, describes that he's done. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Red Bull Romaniacs, but he's like, I've done Red Bull Romaniacs 19 times, and I've done Dakar 13 times and finished 10, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then guy next to him's like, I'm Cyril Dupree's mechanic from the years, of him winning, and I'm like, okay, next person, and just like, like I'm in trouble, like this is serious, everybody's ready to go.
And then when you're the first day when you're on your bike, what's it feel like? Were you
the helicopters and just the amount of, it definitely pre-race jitters for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So it's just an intensity level that's. If there's 15 people around and everybody's acting that way, it's one thing. But we were, 127 bikes plus the organization plus media. And it was real.
I can't remember. Do bikes go first?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So bikes, and sometimes is it pre-dawn or is it dawn?
They never started a timed part of the race for us in the dark.
Yeah.
Definitely first sunrise, first minute of sunrise, but
so that's cool.
We would
right
transfer in the dark all the time.
Wow,
3 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, 4 in the morning. And it's raining, and
well, that's a whole nother part of the experience.
Another part of I think that adventure riding and doing BDRs is a key critical part to training for something like that. Like you can't just rely on, I'm going to Saudi Arabia, it'll be warm, it'll be hot. Like, not the case.
One of the most interesting things that I was curious about, Mo, is what kind of psychological challenges did you face, and what kind of mental things did you overcome? Because it seems like that piece of it is a whole nother set from the physical.
For me, it was pretty demoralizing to be on the bike twice as long as the leaders. So like if they were on the bike for 4 hours, I was on the bike for 8. If they were able to stay ahead of the cars and the side-by-sides and the garbage trucks and the angry golf carts, like they had a much better day than me. And so when those cars and four-wheeled vehicles came through, they dig some pretty massive ruts, and since it was raining, those ruts were probably a little bit weirder than usual. So the psychological demoralizing part of like getting a pass alert, needing to get out of that rut, turned into, well, I'm just going to stay out of the rut, which seems faster. It's definitely safer, but it in the end was slower. So my days would become exponentially worse as more four-wheel vehicles came through. Like every time you pick your bike up in the dunes, like you're wondering what you're doing. And I don't think I was the only one picking up my bike. Like starting to look through footage, and I don't think it was easy for everybody, but it was hard. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. And I financially can't be like, well, I'll just come back. Like that's not really an option. I couldn't really go fast enough to get hurt either because I couldn't afford to do that. So it was just a grind. I don't know. Something's wrong with me. Like there's nothing.
Join the crew. You're amongst.
There's nothing. There's nothing. It might be a little too soon, but like I really wouldn't recommend it.
Right. But it's almost like the financial hit kept you going at some stage, because I mean you're like dropped 115 large on this.
Yeah. If I was Jeff Bezos, I would have called a helicopter. I promise.
Yeah. Right.
I would have.
Yeah. But just for an ordinary working person, that is a lot of money.
Nobody could believe how quickly I was pulling the pin on getting out of there. You're on the 5 a.m. flight tomorrow. I'm like, I have to go back to work. I don't. What are you guys doing?
So when you were running through the desert, were you just getting passed by some of the trucks, and was it just mobbing at all times past you, or was it so expansive that they would just pass you kind of once in a while?
I got used to the rhythm. Definitely the car leaders coming through. The first 3 cars, fast cars, NASA, Sebastian, and some of the other Toyota Gazoo trucks would come through, and after that, they'd stack up pretty hard. I knew there'd be 2 minutes between each car in the beginning, or it seemed like the case. I mean, some days I get caught by the cars 100 Ks in, some days I get caught 60 Ks in, and that's when you knew it was going to be a long day. But, after finishing the first 4 stages in the dark with all of those people, like my goals slowly changed to like, okay, I need to get in before the sun goes down, because what they would throw at us at the end of the stages was very sadistic. I mean, just so French and so sadistic. It was.
That's terrible.
I've never raced in the dunes at night. I've never raced in the dunes on a stock headlight. And you'd go over these dunes, and you'd be out of the main line because you didn't want to get run over by a garbage truck, and you'd have to wait for your light to commit to what you were doing. It was none of it made any sense. You're questioning everything.
Yeah, I'm curious about the dunes. because Craig and I have done a little bit of it, but nothing on the scale you're talking about. But it looks like once you kind of vibe with it, it can be a lot of fun.
Oh, it is fun.
Like the nighttime thing's a whole other thing. So I'm curious, what's it like riding those big dunes, navigating, where you don't know what's over each thing? It has to be moments of joy and utter
There's definitely a system to getting over a peak dune, and if you watch, those Dakar highlights, the leaders and the guys who are really efficient at it, they do this little swimmy fish move at the top, and so you can either commit or not commit, but you're basically paralleling the crest until you trust it. So you'd never really want to go straight blind off a crest unless you can see it. And one of the tricks to riding in the dunes is following somebody. You can tell from their shoulders and their throttle what's coming. And that turns into, I can go straight, or I need to check it like they did. But if they go off it and they send up a 50-foot rooster tail, which you've probably seen, you know that you're pretty safe.
So in that vein, talking about navigating, that's a big part of it. How did you get up to speed with that so quickly? So roll charts aren't easy. Even though you follow people, I still think that would come into play. How'd you sort all that out?
There are a lot of tracks when you're as far back as me. You're not doing a ton of navigating, but what you are doing is racing the computer. So in the dunes, they have something called a waypoint mask, and that's the only thing that matters. It's the only thing you're correcting on during the race. So if I knew that I had 15 kilometers to the next WPM, I could see the line. I could see the tracks from everybody, especially because of the rain. So I could make my own line through the dunes and get out of the main line and cut corners. I mean, and my mileage would be wrong when I get to the WPM, but then it rectifies itself and you move forward.
Yeah, that was Toby Price's plan, is never be first.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, because then you risk making a mistake and losing a lot of time. I wanted to ask you about something that, watching this, that I found really special about this race, that this is a highly competitive race, yet if somebody is injured, crashed, or out of commission, somebody else will come along and stay with them or help them.
Yeah, you get your time back. Yeah, so the rules are very specific, but I find that they're very lenient with this as well, because you need enough people to pick up the airbag stretcher to get them into the helicopter. So if you're in 4 feet of the deepest sand in the world, you need some bubbas to move somebody, And one of my teammates went down in the dunes pretty violently, and he was racing next to it, a guy from Italy. And they both went blind off a dune after they were told not to, and both wrecked, and both had to get into the helicopter. And it took, I think it took about 12 people to get them out of the sand pit they were in to the helicopter. So when the rules say two people can stop and help and get their time back,
so the time you spend there doesn't get taken out of your time.
No, you get it reimbursed. Is that the right word? Or
right.
And the computer will tell the org.
Interesting.
The computer, the organization's tracking device tells them exactly how long you stayed and waited. So if you were really reading into it, when Matthias Walkner went down and Kevin Bevanitas stopped to help him, it's good for Kevin.
Yeah, and that was on day 13.
He's drinking some water. He's having his goo bar. Everybody's making tracks, and he won the stage, right? So who knows? And on 10, 15, 20 bikes go by while he's helping Matthias. Now there's no mistakes for him to make. He can follow what is now a burned-in main line instead of 2 tracks or 3 tracks in front of him, and maybe somebody gets lost.
And those crashes are no joke.
No, those guys are going a lot faster than me.
No.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool, because was it day 1 or 2 when Matthias stopped and helped? Was it Brayback or Sunderland?
Pretty sure Matthias helped Sam. That was day 1.
Yeah, Matthias helped him, and then on day 13.
It's unwritten code. Even if there was no time reimbursed, people stop.
I love that. Then also there was a story I saw about, and maybe you know who this was, because somebody in the Malle, his moose went out on his rear tire, and he still had to do 50 kilometers or 80 kilometers, and he just zip tied his tire to the rim.
Was that this year?
This year. And then he ran into another rider who had a blown engine who gave him his wheel.
That's pretty common.
And I'm like, that is awesome.
You're stealing parts a lot in the desert. There's there'll be a bike in perfectly good working order sitting there on the kickstand, and I've heard of people just doing a complete hot swap on all the parts to get to the finish line. Fuel pump's gone in the tanks. Okay, I'm going to steal these tanks.
So how well was your Malle sorted out?
Yeah.
When the kit that you brought, how well?
I definitely brought some tools from home, stuff that I like to use in my shop, and
what? Be specific.
Like a muffin tray. So you take 2 bolts out of your skid plate, and they go into one part of the muffin tray, and then the bolts for. I don't know.
I mean, kitchenware.
No, I did, and the other thing I really like is I have essentially the hot plate that goes into a buffet hot plate thing, a big metal tray. I get like 6 of them.
Hotel tray.
Yeah, but they're deep though, right? Yeah. And you can get 6 of them on eBay for $36. I'm sure they come from China, but like when we did clutches on our rest day, it's pretty handy. Like you just put everything into this, stainless work tray, and
add cafeteria tray to our list of tools.
Just trying to keep the dirt out, you're in the muck. Oh,
did you bring any special tools that didn't come from a restaurant supply place?
Yes.
Did you bring tongs?
No tongs. But I brought my own. Brought my own Harbor Freight work. Nitro gloves.
Cha-ching!
Pretty.
Did you hear that? I hear a sponsor coming.
Yeah, pretty handy.
Yeah.
The bike company that loaned us the bikes supplied a pretty complete toolbox, but I was still glad I brought some of my stuff.
Well, I wanted to talk about that because that's part of doing the Malle is you're responsible for doing work on the bike. So what kind of maintenance repairs did you have to do?
I was pretty minimalistic in changing my bike. On the rest day, I did sprockets, chain, I did my clutch. I didn't need to, but the clutch was so new that I took out. I brought home for a spare for my bike here. I brought home my teammate's clutch because that was brand new. But I had a bad cable up to the nav tower for one of the repeaters. And I finished that project up about 12:30 one night. We left at 3 got up at 3 to leave at 4. I didn't do brake pads. Probably did tires every other day, something like that.
So, like, what time would you get in? How long would you have to then work on the bike? And what time do you have to start again?
It changed every day, but in the beginning, I was lucky to get in before 9 or 10 at night. Wow. And it's all a blur, right? I mean,
it's only been a week, right?
15 days of racing, but there was one stage that cut short because of weather.
Yeah.
And we commuted back into town, and they were like, yeah, just follow this road, and you'll see the bivouac. And you're like, okay. It started raining so hard, and luckily I had my gear with me, but I didn't see the bivouac, and the directions were terrible, and I ended up in downtown, all Baba whatever, and and the water was so deep. The water was so deep at a intersection that you put your foot down and you'd be up to your knees, and you can't see the curbs. It's flash flooding. None of the traffic lights are working, and the hardest part about that was I didn't need to be there. Like if I had navigated properly to the bivouac, I could have avoided all that. But I ended up in a fire station with a bunch of Saudi nationals, and lost in translation, just asking where the airport was, and they're feeding me dates, and I'm just shaking to death, and they figured out I was American. I was like, "Is that okay?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's okay." And I made it back to the bivouac, but that was a late night, and just the liaisons are something that are something you don't see on Red Bull TV or NBC Sports, and they're the most dangerous. I mean, all the Saudis want to race you on the road. They're taking video while they do it as they drive you off the road because they're not paying attention. And it was, and they're long and cold. I mean, we did at least 3 500-kilometer liaisons, the equivalent of going from here to LA almost. Pretty close.
So
you said,
go ahead.
Sorry. So you said you change tires every other day. How come? I mean, you're riding in the sand mostly, so there shouldn't be a lot of wear.
They threw it at us this year. The first 2 days were nothing but rocks. So definitely when I looked at the knobs, end of stage 2, going into stage 3, I was like, I don't have a choice. Like I have to change these. But you're also combating, durability, right? So a mousse on the pavement over 70 miles an hour will deteriorate. We don't use tubes. We use this foam insert, and it suffers from heat. So if you want to make it to the finish, you have to keep up with stuff like that. And I think it's more of just precaution than. So the temperatures were so cold that we were told they would survive, but you don't just no. You don't trust everybody, right?
So nightly, was there like routine maintenance you did every night? What every night minimum did you kind of have to do?
Bled my air forks every night. So getting a bike with 9 gallons of gas up on the box is a challenge when you're tired, but that was bare minimum. Then you'd go after the air filter, and the weather was so bad, and I was always so late that I probably did oil less than I wanted to. But in the end, I started doing it a lot because I was like, it's
like every other day, every couple of days,
something
like that. Whatever. Yeah, I guess it's kind of dependent, right?
Were there specific tasks that you're like, yeah, I really should do that, and I super just want to go to sleep?
Yeah.
Like granola bar and pass out.
I forgot to bleed my air forks bleed the air out of my forks one night, and I felt like it was on my mind all day. I felt like it was an annoying, just lurking thought. Like, is that why this sucks so bad today? Because I didn't bleed the air out of them, and so I was pretty sure to do that every day again.
Right.
So, at any point, did you regret this decision, or were you in it the whole time?
I mean, how many times? Yes.
So how low did you have to? How deep did you have to dig?
I don't think that is the question to ask, Laser, because I think he's already answered that 100 times. The question to ask is, given the availability of finances, would you do it again?
For the first 3 days after doing it, the answer was no.
Yes.
And this morning I started ordering stuff that would just in case.
Just in case if you ever dis- So I think that's the more pertinent question. So you would.
Yeah. I mean, so looping back to the Sonora Rally, it's now part of the entire series. This year coming up, it's World Rally Championship points. So they're going to be an ASO run event this year. So all these repeaters and ERTF devices that we had at Dakar will be there. So I'm ordering all that stuff to race like the Rally 2 class at Sonora.
I just had a thought. Do you actually need an FIM license? So you need a Pucker FIM license to race in that. So,
there's going to be a national class which you won't need one for at Sonora because they're trying to.
But if you want to go back to Dakar, you're not going to run Dakar without an FIM.
No, you have
license.
to have one.
Yeah.
So we did the prologue on December 31st, and there was talk of us needing an FIM license for 2022 and 2023 for one day, $500.
Right.
And they let us slide on the bike side of it, but the cars all needed it. So, I have my FIM license to do Sonora.
And for those that don't know, the FIM license is your racing license, and not only is it a $500 hit to get one, but you have to kind of earn it. You don't just get an FIM license. You have to prove ability. Yep. You have to prove not necessarily winningness, but competitiveness. I mean,
you have to be an AMA member, and then they screen you. And Connie from the AMA does all that work for us, and we didn't have them until. The week before Christmas.
Right, but Connie is pretty diligent. You can't say, I've been riding this and riding this. And Connie will find out that you haven't. And no FIM license for you this year, Emma.
I mean, my rally resume isn't, doesn't have like distinguished honors, but it's lengthy. Like,
but you went to Harvard of... Like Dakar is like the Harvard school of racing. With
nuns beating you with rulers.
But it's funny on a smaller scale, and this is very, very pertinent. It's the naked ride. The first time you do the naked ride, about 5 minutes into it, you think, I will never do this again. What the hell am I doing here? This is the most painful, the most grueling, the most revolting thing I've ever done. People on the street are laughing at me. However, by the time you've completed your first midwinter naked ride, you're looking forward to the next year. And then it becomes an annual event. And here me and Jim, you're in year 7, aren't you?
Yes, and we were all laughing at you, not just the
Well, I know that.
Yes.
Well, and Emma, just remember, when people say, now you've done the Dakar, what's next? Your answer is, the naked ride.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
hope everybody's not scared of small things.
So I have a question. This is something I've been asking over the weeks when I've been watching the reports, and I didn't have an answer. I'm like, I can
Now
ask
you've
somebody.
got the answer.
I asked somebody. They said many times about somebody would get like a certain time, but then they got penalized for speeding.
Yeah, so there's a 130 kilometer speed limit on all vehicles, whether it's a support staff or a race vehicle, on the liaisons, on the transfer sections.
So on the roadways.
On the roadways, you were pinned down at 130. Sometimes you get into I don't know, is it a city or an inhabited area, and it would be 50 kilometers or 30 kilometers. And like Daniel Sanders got one where he went into it and it was 50 and it changed to 30 and he got bit because he wasn't paying attention. So you think you're in the speed zone, and then it blows up on you and you're like, oh, it went to 30. I didn't see that. And outside of transfers, there was a speed cap for all the bikes that was 160 kilometers an hour. And so
anywhere?
While racing?
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere.
They're trying to make it safer.
Isn't that still pretty fast?
Interesting.
It is very.
That's not slow.
It's like 70 miles an hour still. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it's more than that.
160 clicks is 100 miles an hour. It's a very easy calculation.
No. 100 kilometers an hour is 60
Right,
miles
so
per hour.
160 is 100.
130 kilometers an hour, if I'm right, is 81 miles per hour. So
160.
I never went 160.
160 is 100.
But you say for the
100 miles an hour. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
You're right. My bad. I thought
that's still fast on a dirt bike.
It's plenty quick. It's fast on a road
on a street
bike.
bike.
Because they don't show that part that you guys are going on to roads. So I wonder, remember, was it Dust to Glory when they showed the federales lined up and we're pulling over all the cars? So are the police out there, or is this all through GPS and through monitoring?
They're controlling you from their little device.
But you can understand them wanting to make this thing safer. If you look back, look at some of the footage from the mid-'80s when the bikes were getting really quick.
Well, those were
and the unlimited bikes.
Big V twins.
Right. And you'd see like one of the original Africa twins or the KTMs, the big KTMs.
Can you imagine riding that?
Yeah.
Wadding.
Have you ever heard Jimmy Lewis?
out.
So what Liza has in her hand is the old BMW boxer motor. And it's crazy when you hear Jimmy Lewis talk about racing one of those competitively, because he's probably really only one of the only people who've left the earth on that bike. And because of the motor's orientation, it actually starts rotating like it
in the air.
It geeks out, like it's not in line like we're used to.
Like a bucking bronco.
It just starts,
So here's a question for you. When you're like at the bivouac and you have this whole community and you get the car drivers and the truck drivers and the motorcycles, does anyone talk to the quad guys? I think we have our answer.
No, they're too busy doing donuts in the parking lot.
We had a couple quads racing Malle Moto, and man, they just did not. They don't. Because when they're cleaning out their carburetors at 11 o'clock and everybody's trying to sleep and they're louder than our bikes, I mean, they just don't make.
So even there, the quad guys.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah, because I believe your time is still better than the top 10 quad rider in the whole thing.
I don't think so. I think they beat me.
No, I was looking at times.
Okay, I don't know. I don't want to claim anything because
were you 55 or something? What was it?
I was 85th overall.
Yeah, I think you were still faster than the number 9, 10 quads.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but they're still annoying. They're always. That's
okay.
They're always same at Hollister Hills too.
Exactly. Yeah. They're always broken down on the transfers and on the side of the road, trying to. Yeah, I meant to take pictures of this guy's quad. He was racing Malle Moto, and I mean, when he showed up, his grips were just duct tape, and I was like, I don't understand what you're doing. Like, do you need grips? Like, I don't know. Anyway,
saving money.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, when you're doing the liaison, do you have to do it in a particular amount of time, or can you get earlier and rest?
You can get there early and rest for sure, and definitely people, go for their nature break. They go 130 to get there, and then disappear into the dunes and bring some supplies and do their thing. But yeah, if you start missing time control checks, it gets really expensive in time penalties. So that happened to somebody. They missed their starting time at the bivouac, which is when you get handed your time card and when you get handed your road book, and those are the two holy grails for you the whole day. If you lose either one, I don't want to say your game's over, but the penalty for losing a time card is just off the chart. And if you lose your road book, you basically have to follow somebody else, and you don't ever want to do that. So, yeah, as soon as you start missing time checks, it gets expensive in time penalties. And that was a goal of mine, is not to rack up too many penalties. And I think in the end I had 31 minutes, and it's not much. It was fine for me based on me just surviving, but some guys are getting 19 hours and 28 hours of penalties, and it doesn't take much. Once you get onto the back foot, it's a snowball,
Okay. I want to get down to some nitty-gritty. How often do you... So let's think about a normal day, for want of a better term. You start at sunrise. So what time have you actually gotten out of your tent for a start at sunrise?
Well, usually we'd have to do somewhere between anywhere from 100 to 500 Ks to get to the start.
Right.
So
I just wanted to think. So you were out there for 15 days. So let's just take a day.
Oh, from the bivouac, right?
So
Yeah,
let's take
terrible.
an average day. So let's take day 8. On day 8 or day 7.
Was that the day of the rain?
What time did you get out of the tent?
I couldn't sleep. I mean, I set an alarm, but I was up early, and it's tricky because of my essentially poor result the day before. I would start last the next day.
Okay, so what time was that start?
But the semis are packing up, so they need your gear bag by 4:45 a.m. at the latest. So I'd get up at 3:30 or 4, and I'd start my day, whether it's feeding myself, getting dressed, packing my dumb tent, packing my bag.
Also, do you have to set up the tent and break it also?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what did you have for breakfast?
Freeze-dried airline catering food.
Right. Very good.
Saudi Airlines was the catering food, and the first couple days, you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. Well, by the end of week 2, all you want
gruesome.
Some old inventory.
All you want is tacos Morenos.
Spam right
So
now.
you've
Just dreaming of tacos Morenos and in and out the whole time.
So you've eaten.
Yeah.
Now you're on your bike. First light, you're on your bike.
Way before first light, we start racing at first light.
Start racing. So you get on your bike, and you've got to ride how far?
Somewhere between 2 and 4 hours
To get to the start.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Now,
It's the desert.
There was
They can't,
there was
do a little
one
bit better
there was,
logistically?
there was one day where I think we started right at the bivouac or finished right at the bivouac, and it was a nice treat,
okay, but normally...
normally it's
So
just
how
hellacious. It's the dumbest thing you could ever do.
How many times... No, I'm not done with you.
Yeah.
How many times do you eat during the day?
Definitely a huge breakfast, and 2.5, 3 dinners, and during the day I was taking some California pistachios and little single-use
right. So you're kind of eating as you're riding.
You eat at gas stops, and you eat before the stage starts, and maybe you have a little energy block after, but no real sustenance other than snacks
until you get back.
Until you get back, and so you'd finish a stage, and depending on the stage, but you'd be like, "Oh, I've only got to ride 380 Ks back to
the bivouac,
pasta in the dark," and get killed by a Saudi national on the road.
So you would end and still have to ride 300 Ks back to, and then back again in the morning.
So when they say 8,900 kilometers for the whole event, like half of that is liaisons, and half of that is racing. So nobody.
I want to talk about...
People need to understand that is a huge part of it. Staying warm.
Right.
You're in the dunes all day. You get all sweaty and cold. Then you jump on the pavement. It's dark. And you freeze to death because you're soaked to the bone because you picked up your bike 6 times.
Right. So, okay, we're going to talk about bathroom breaks now. Because no, and this is a very subject.
I got stories. What do you mean?
I know you got stories.
Before bathroom breaks, how about water? So,
well, yes.
The rule is you carry 3 liters on your back.
That's it?
And you can drink it at will.
Yeah, I have a little.
Yeah, so water's the easy part.
But you can refill it at gas stops.
Bathroom breaks now. We everyone goes pee pee, everyone goes poo poo, and it's very
some more than others.
There's nothing.
Forget the water. Forget the water.
There's nothing more embarrassing.
How am I going to drop a
There's
deuce?
nothing more embarrassing than getting out of the main line,
right.
like as far as you think you can go for some privacy.
Yes,
and stripping down,
yes,
bending it over,
yes,
and the car leaders come through, and so do the helicopters.
Oh God.
That's great.
And you're literally are right in the middle of it, and you're just like, oh, I'm on.
Hello.
That might make it onto TV.
Okay.
At least don't get run over like that. That'd be a hell of a way to go.
I thought I was removed from the situation, and the helicopter can really change that.
I actually was going to ask. I mean, I'm sure you stopped to go for a number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, are you set up that you just go?
Yeah,
you don't even.
I had
stop.
days where like I drink a bunch of water at the gas stop, and I had to pull over 4 times to pee, and it's hard when you're on the clock to be like, oh, I can't think though. I have to get this out, and yeah, I had two number 2s on the race course, and I almost took pictures of them just to be like,
You see, we asked the question.
Too much information.
No, absolutely not, because we need to know. I mean, you guys are out there.
Emma needs to know.
Inquiring minds, because it's
the photo one was.
The thing is, you get involved in just the sheer glamour of this race, because you get shots from the helicopter, you get shots of the racing, and you don't realize what's going on behind the scenes, because these guys have to stop and eat, they have to stop and use the bathroom break. I never even realized that there's such a huge ride between the bivouac and the start and finish line. So what starts off as a monumental achievement kind of metamorphosizes into almost this insurmountable achievement.
Yeah.
So I think it's just fantastic.
Yeah, especially after a hot cup of coffee in the morning.
Yeah, can you imagine? Well, you've got to think about it. You've got to think, okay, we've got some Saudi airline food here and a hot cup of coffee. I'm going to have to stop in like 3 hours.
100 miles on a thumper.
I mean, usually in Mexico, you're when you're doing races down there, you're on your body,
it's kind of tough.
Your rear mainsail can let go pretty easily.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to say.
And so keeping it together over there was definitely
Bring extra O-rings.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I got a question. So, speaking of achievements, so I believe I have this right. You were the second American to compete it in Malle.
Not
and
to complete
first,
it, not compete.
Right. To complete it.
Yeah.
Well
and
done.
the first American born.
Yes.
Well done.
So you said you went with 5 people.
Five of us on the American Rally original team.
What happened to all of them? How did they do?
Our team historian and catalyst for this whole scenario, Kyle McCoy, he dragged his ankle through one of the garbage truck ruts a kilometer from the finish on stage 3 or 4 and just had a clean break. And so,
where exactly? Like which bone broke?
His ankle.
His ankle. Okay.
And he's already had surgery. He's home. A little bit of a side note, but I was really stressed out about going over there without what I would call a handler. And the handler was a way for somebody to just pick me up by the scruff of the neck, put me on the plane, and fly me home if something happened. And I have a lot of respect for the ASO at this point. Their medical team and staff and all that is 100% on point. And if you get hurt, they fly you home business class with a rep or a nurse or somebody. Whatever, and our guys chose
a babysitter.
And our guys said, "Look, if you can get my bags checked, you don't need to fly with me." And so Kyle flew home. He was the first one out, and then my teammate David Pearson. He was kind of our, I won't say manager, but he definitely carried the torch for us and was the face of our team for social media and fundraising.
Is he the one who was featured in the Red Bull piece?
That might have been Paul.
David
was featured as well. But in terms of how they went out, David did his neck in.
Yeah.
and he collapsed in the he collapsed at the food tent around 9:30 at night, and they pulled him out of the race. And he did something to it in the dunes. He also had some pre-existing stuff with that, but the dunes did him in, and he got pulled. And then what happened next? Paul Neff from the Pacific Northwest, really good rider. Won the Desert 100. He's a medalist from the 6 days.
I've heard that name before, yeah.
Very talented rider. He essentially had a freak mechanical. If some of these RFS lovers will know, but like the stator got loose in the case, and that's the short story. But troubleshooting it to that took him 36 hours and 4 batteries, and he was on the bike for 24 hours in the rain, and he made it back to the bivouac, and then it was kind of turned into this Red Bull moment, and all the cameras showed up, and he's like, oh, they missed 3 waypoints, and they're going to let me continue. And so there's 2 things there. There's the ASO and the IFM, and one of them told Paul he could continue, and in the end that wasn't totally true, but it didn't matter. He wadded up pretty hard in the dunes, racing a guy from Italy, and they both crashed at the same time going over the same dune, not into each other, but just blind into the next dune. And there's pictures of him airborne. I mean, he was flying. He was on the gas. And so then it was David's brother, Jim, and I don't know if you saw the footage of the water, but he sucked a bunch of water into his motor and blew his motor up. And then he missed the race the next day, wanted to continue to support me like a good teammate, like kind of be not water boy. We use the term water boy. I think it's derogatory, right? But he was going to shadow me for anything I needed. And so he spent 6,000 euros on a new motor from KTM. Wow. Took him about an hour to put it in. And then he blew that motor up. He made it to gas. I saw him at the gas stop the next day, and then I didn't see him again. And there's something going on with his breather hose because it was pulling. So I don't know enough. But at that point, I was like, I'm by myself. Like you do all this. Like the only thing that mattered, or not the only thing, but the most important thing was getting to the finish line. So you envision that, right? Like you picture it in your head, you have some positive thinking, and you picture those people around you. And I'm like,
you're the face of the team now.
Yeah, what a bad news. Terrible news for everybody.
So when you say team, though, is it a team just because you're Americans, or is there some organization that sponsors it? Or
no, we just went with the approach that the more we throw at the wall, the more that will stick. And since no American had ever finished that class, we just said, between the 5 of us, if you combined us all, we're actually a good rider, But
it's like having a prize fight.
Like that Transformers thing.
Individually, I mean, I didn't have the speed, but Paul had the speed, and I don't know. It goes on and on. But
what about your checkmate? Did he come or?
Yeah, he finished.
He was the one who finished before him. That's why he's not the first.
But he's the first American, but not American-born, and you are the first American.
Yeah, I don't want to be like that. I mean, we did it together, and
it's a team effort.
He was nothing but a teammate to me that whole time.
That's just the greatest thing.
Yeah, he did it first, and I can't take that away from anybody, and it's all good.
So, just curious, I'd like to know a little more about the ugly side of this.
We already talked about pooping, Liza.
When you're talking about, when you're seeing the videos and stuff, they're just showing all the good side. But I'm like, did you see, were there fights erupting in the bivouac? Was there injuries? Did you have any injuries? I've heard of people who had to ride with, broken hands. It's
I was pretty good. I got injured before I left riding my 2-stroke, and that didn't help me the first couple of days on the rocks, but maybe it helped me get to the finish, just slowing down a little bit. My hands were pretty beat up.
This is still competitive. I mean, is it all like everyone's helping each other and everyone's great, or is it a lot?
No, it's the original by Moto class. Yeah. Basically we were sat down in the beginning by a guy named I think I'm going to say it right, John Pedrero. He's from Spain, and he's usually in the top 15, and he doesn't have his factory ride anymore. So somehow he was racing out of the OBM area. He must have worked out a deal with the organization and stuff, but he was racing in the premier class. But he was mentoring us, and he sat us all down, and he's like, look, this is the biggest team at Dakar. You all help each other. It doesn't matter what's next out of your mouth. We look out for each other, we help each other, and that proved true. You know, we the biggest team there. So, I mean, in the end, there was only 15 of us, and you know, all those people are friends for life. I mean, you've done something together and suffered through some of the most miserable soft sand and rocks, you know, that you can ever imagine. So, you know, the guys who left the race early, I don't think they know it was at the end, and so it's a little different, you know.
So I'm curious after your about the empty quarter, right? So had your mates kind of already kind of left at that point?
Jim was still in the mix, and that's when he blew up his second motor.
Okay.
And he had missed a stage. Like, he came up to me in the dunes with his fresh motor, and he was like, I'm feeling good. And I'm like, yeah, you took yesterday off, you know? And like half a day the day before. Like, I'd love to feel bad for you, but you've been on vacation, you know? And he didn't last long either. So, yeah, I was at the empty quarter.
Can you talk about that, like the vastness of it and like your mental state of mind and like
apparently, I mean, I've been watching the now that I'm trying to catch up on the race because I don't really know what happened. You know, they're calling it the most uninterrupted expanse of desert on the planet, and it sure feels and looks like that. I mean, even just riding on the paved road, you're looking around going, oh, what is going on out here? And right over that border is Oman, and right over that border is, you know, United Arab Emirates, and their service to air missiles on this side of the fence pointing that way, and their service to air missiles on the other side of the fence pointing back. And you're like, okay, like this is, security's pretty high. There's a lot of machine guns mounted to pickup trucks, and
not what I was imagining when I asked the question.
Well, it's very raw. I mean, there's no tracks out there. There's no like.
It just seems so vast, and the dune's so large, and it all kind of messes with your head. And I would imagine after a few hours, like navigating, or maybe the lines just appear. I don't know.
Is it comparable in any way to the dunes that you've experienced here in Northern America, or is it just camera angles?
Definitely, there's nothing that big in terms of acres in anywhere in North America. So. With that comes varying dune fields, and I've never ridden in sand that soft before. The stage 13, I mean, you just let out your clutch and you go down to the hub. It didn't, and on flat ground, not up, not down. And you'll see some of that, like if you saw Skylar Howes do the no footer and then bury it in the sand. And then when he's trying to get going, when he's trying to get going again, like that getting going again scenario is you're burning twice the fuel that you normally would. So fuel consumption was basically ×2 in that stuff. And it's just very vast and very open, and there's nothing out there. There's no way to survive.
Yeah. Did you have any opportunity during the 15 days of riding to kind of relax your thoughts, or is it so demanding? It's demanding so much concentration from you, because I mean, I know physically it can be it is incredibly demanding, but mentally, if it's demanding as well, the time. My
experience with rally racing is your body just goes into submission after about 3 days, and it gets used to what you're doing to it.
Right.
And this was the same. You're so exhausted that you don't even have time to.
You're almost in survival
to break.
mode.
Oh, I was. Yeah. I don't know if I can't speak for everybody, but you're battling all of your inner demons. You're battling all of your outer demons. You're just trying to survive for sure.
Wow. So, I mean, did you have any time to interact with your teammates? It seems like everybody's coming in at different times.
Yeah, I was pretty late and last to leave, so. Some of the guys looked after me when I'd come in. They're like, "Here's some food, and what do you need?" And you know, we were good that way. But in the end, there was nobody left, so it got a lot quieter for me, and I could focus a little bit more, which was nice. But yeah, everybody's super encouraging. Even non-team members, you'd come in and you'd get the pat on the back. I'm like, "That was a hard one." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." You know, there were some tough stages. There was some really tough. Last year, 2022, the entire race, distance-wise, we'd done at the rest day. So 6 stages to go, we had done the entire year's distance. So this year was quite a challenge compared to the past couple of years.
Can you talk about the day it was really wet?
It doesn't narrow it down. There was
well, talk about that in general. We only saw snippets of it, I think, on the highlights, but it looked crazy, like wet cement and stuff. It looked wild.
Which stage?
Well, actually, I'd like to play off of that. One of the
days.
things I thought was cool too, and I want to get your kind of inside information on it. The day that they said, because there's so much rain, it's too wet, it's too dangerous, we're giving the bikes a day off.
Well, that's the night that Paul got in at 3 a.m. And, we're meant to be leaving at 4 a.m. to start a stage. And so what they did is they canceled the stage for bikes for safety reasons. And at 10 a.m., we did a 500-kilometer liaison.
Right.
No racing, just go ride from San Francisco to L.A. on the pavement in the rain, in the wind, and then spend the night in a tent with a bunch of smelly people because your tent can't go on the ground because it's so wet there. So what they did is instead of using that bivouac as a actual bivouac, they made us just sleep there. There were no real vehicles allowed to go in there other than race vehicles. And not sure if I'm answering your question, but I mean it was so wet. Like you like the gas trucks would get stuck, and then we couldn't get gas. I mean it just the stuff you can't even write some of this stuff.
Well, my specific question was that something that they offered up, or was there some behind the scenes, like the bikers going like, we can't do this? Was there a protest?
There was definitely, the what do you say? The team directors definitely can start squeaking and get heard. And I think that some of the Austrian brands, KTM Gas, Husqvarna, and then the KTM Satellite Factory team, Boz Dakar, were like, hey, we're getting to the part where this isn't safe. And they were like, we recognize, and it's not like it was a big push to make them hear that. They're like, that makes sense. And they don't do it until the last second, so we didn't know until probably 8 p.m. that night that they were going to cancel the stage. But if they could have written a road book and gotten us back to the bivouac without getting lost for hours, maybe it would have been different. So it was a little bit on them too, on the org. I mean,
And then I think what Jim was asking, or what I want to know, how did you do the water crossings? Like the ones we saw where they're having to, like, cars were getting stuck and the trucks are dragging. How'd you get through that?
Just don't chin to the tin. I mean, don't give up. Like just do not slow down. I mean, that's where Jim lost his motor. I don't know if he slowed down or found a rut or what, but I also don't know if I got through there before something really spiked in terms of water level. But it was deep, I'm telling you. I mean, the water air filter is strategically placed really high on those motors, and I think that if I'd been on a standard enduro bike with it on the side like we're used to, like the RFS, placement of an air filter, it would have been underwater. And the air filter on these things is really up high.
Yeah.
So talk about your bike a little bit. How did it do throughout the whole
I got really lucky. When you finish a race like this, you go over the finish line podium, and there's, they give you those medals, and then they take your bike and they lock it up for 5 hours.
Yeah, park for me. And I was like, I need my bike. Like, I got to take my shock off it and fly. And they're like, you touch your bike, you're disqualified. I'm like, okay. So you come back at 5:30 p.m. I go back at 5:30 p.m. and my bike would not start. I mean, that's how lucky I think I was with my bike. So given it's a rental, if you blow a motor, is it your responsibility or theirs?
Not sure. I'm glad I didn't have to buy a motor.
I bet.
I would have done the right thing, whatever that is. But and maybe I own a motor. I mean, if it don't start, maybe I don't know. I haven't gotten that far. But it goes on the ferry and it goes back to France and then it goes to the Netherlands, and then I'll probably get my bill for whatever I did to that thing.
Well, I want to start wrapping this up because we have more to talk about. But I wanted to ask, who's your favorite racer?
Good question.
Because everybody loves Pricey.
Toby never fails to amaze me.
Yeah, there it is.
If I had one person I would want to go talk to, it'd probably be Toby. But I'm also a big Ross Branch fan. Like, you've never seen that guy. It doesn't matter what's broken or how many times his bike has failed. He's always all good news and smiles. And, he won a couple stages after some real dismal days in the beginning. And I am a huge Andrew Short fan. He was navigating on a side-by-side this year. But, Toby's probably my pick, I'd have to say. He's a legend.
in the vein of wrapping it up, we were talking a little bit before you left. We were hanging out in your garage, and you had said, "I just want to finish."
Yeah, that was the goal.
Just want to make it to the end.
Alive.
Alive.
Yeah.
You have.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
At what point did it feel like, oh, I did it?
Well, so stage 14, the last stage, you hear that it's just a ceremonial beach procession, and it's not gnarly, it's not hard, it's a safety thing, nothing can really change. And they do the last day in a reverse start. So because I'm not very fast, I basically started and they started us in a line of 5 every 2 minutes. So I got like, I don't know, 6th to last the day before. So I was in the second wave of 5, essentially opening the track and leading out. And it rained all night. It was the greasiest, slipperiest thing ever. Like if you watch stage 14 highlights and you see people off in the mud and stuff.
It's horrible. Yeah.
I'm very lucky to have finished that stage or the race.
They were pulling
I just got
goosebumps.
helicopters. Oh yeah, it was I've never just unreal. And my bike's so full of mud at one point, my front wheel wouldn't rotate, and if you let out your clutch, the rear wheel would just spin, and you just kind of go sideways. And I was just very lucky to have gotten through that. So it wasn't even over. There wasn't any celebrating, even with like 3 kilometers to go. You can be emotional before the start and you can think, yeah, I'm almost there, but like there couldn't have been any of a bigger test than the last day.
Until you cross that finish line.
As you're plowing sideways in the mud. Not quite the poster you had on the wall as a kid.
I mean, I would think of Kyle. I'm like, Kyle bit it 1 kilometer before the finish. Like, do not lose your focus.
Well, and I wanted to thank you for responding. I was reaching out to you before you had even gotten home.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. Yeah,
I'm like, who is this guy? I need to hunt him down and find him and get him in here.
I appreciate that.
And he's here.
And you brought the medals.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you. Those feel good. I mean, they're heavy. They're real.
I didn't know I was getting 2 of them.
That is so cool. So, I mean, congratulations.
No, I think it's the most wonderful thing.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being so candid about it. I mean, it's very easy. And we've had winning racers in here, and they're like, "Yes, I won. Yeah, it's great." But
I didn't win.
But to talk
in our minds, you have.
But nevertheless, you finished, and believe me, finishing the Dakar is an incredible.
At our age, we race against ourselves.
But the point, but to talk about what you've been through and the less glamorous aspects of it, I think it's just the most wonderful thing. I mean, you were every inch a champion.
Thank you.
Every inch a champion.
There's so much more. I mean, I'm so slow. I got passed by a truck with 2 camels in it. It's just it just goes on and on. It's just
At least you didn't get passed by the camels.
Yeah. We may have to have a comeback episode for the fine details.
I have a final question. I mean, I know we're wrapping things up. The Dakar Rally famously kind of metamorphosized out of the Paris-Dakar Rally. Mm-hmm. How much is the French influence still there right now?
Oh, it's 110%.
It's basically a French rally, isn't it? Everyone's invited.
The Malle, a
lot of champagne.
Yes,
not in Arabia, probably.
It's very French. Mostly it's ça va and bonjour and everything. Very international. English is not the primary language. The course briefings in the evening for the next day's race are held in French. There's translating headphones you wear to decipher all that stuff.
So next year, if you were given the choice, would you ride a bike or drive one of the VW vintage Baja boats?
Gosh, those. So I have
That's a good choice.
Yeah,
I'd stick to bikes, but there's an ex-Dakar bike finisher named Bill Conger, and he navigates in one of the Dakar classics. And I have some pictures of it. I'll show you. But I looked inside of it, and I was like, this suspension doesn't look like it's gonna get. it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt your back. You know.
I must admit, as a certified coward and complete wuss, the only way I would ever consider doing anything like the Dakar is in a Tatra truck, 8-wheel drive that's the size of a city block.
Yeah,
and I think
with bathroom included.
Yes, exactly. With a bathroom right behind me, so every 2 hours on the hour I can go back and have
suicide
a pee-pee.
seat in the middle.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Do you know why there's 3 people in those things?
No, tell me.
Just to change a tire.
I can only imagine.
They weigh 300, 400 pounds each, and
that's a good reason.
They're up to here when you're standing.
Oh god!
So what's
when they flip them over.
So what's next?
I'm gonna ride to Tierra del Fuego.
No, that's the wrong answer.
What do you mean?
What's next? The naked ride. I coached you.
Yes.
That's after Tierra del Fuego.
It was yesterday.
I think you got your answer. Tierra del Fuego.
You have got 364 days before the next naked ride, so pack in as much as you can before then.
You don't want to do it right after Dakar. That's when everybody's the coldest.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that story.
Thank you.
We have another thing we're going to cover right now, and you might find this very interesting. So this was a couple months ago. I saw an article that interested me. It's not a big thing, but it was this article that says Mack double up. Brit firm introduces second single cylinder model, and it's just it's a Chinese company. I looked it up. It's a Chinese company. It's
yes,
a thing,
of
right?
course.
So, but it's called a Brit firm. So it's a British company that is making a bike that is powered by an SWM.
I'm going to give you a top tip.
What's that?
Never trust a Brit.
Yeah. And SWMs, if you're not familiar with, are basically it's an old Husqvarna bike that's now produced by a Chinese company going into a British bike. And I thought, well, this is really funny. You got a little bit of everything in there, right? And it got me thinking about the DNA of bikes, right? In fact, I did my own DNA test because, we were talking about this and I said,
is this your personally or your bike?
Well, no, I did my own DNA.
I know you did.
Because, is there such a thing as a 100% American bike or a 100% Japanese bike, right? Or 100% anything are any humans 100% anything? So I did mine and I found out that I am extremely white.
No shit,
and
Sherlock.
privileged.
I am 99.9% European. Yeah, 98.8% Northwestern European.
I think you're leaning Viking.
I might be more British than you, Emma.
Just based on your softball skills.
50%, 56%
That's more than me.
I might be more than you. But then I got this random 1% Greek and Balkan.
Balkan.
I'm like, that's interesting. And maybe a 0.1% broadly Southern European. Broadly Southern. It's kind of interesting, right? I don't know what that means.
I can see the Italian.
Oh, and I got a
roll.
0.1% Siberian.
You have Russian toenails. Your one toenail is Russian.
I can't wait.
The little
toenail.
toenail.
Motorcycles.
So yeah, I'm British, 25% German, 12% Scandinavian.
Well, you do like marching.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting, but then it got me thinking about our bikes. And what if we gave our bikes a DNA test? What would it come out, right? So
well, I ride American.
So I asked a bunch of misfits.
Never trust a wanker.
Your love life.
I asked a bunch of misfits to do a DNA test on their bikes.
Yes.
So I'll go first, just to kind of set the tone of what we're talking about. So I chose my KTM 690 Enduro. KTM, you like KTMs, right?
Stands for costs too much.
I've got that 701 version. I love it.
Oh, yeah. So, Mo, if you had to guess, how much Austrian is in my KTM 690?
I bet you there's a lot of Swedish proprietary, when they bought Husaberg. I wonder how much of that transferred over. I don't know.
I didn't even get that. So, by my math, my bike is 65.498% Austrian.
Is that by mass?
Yes.
That's a lot.
What's the other bit?
Very precise.
10% Italian.
Ciao.
3% German. 2% Netherlands. 13% Japanese. 0.5% American.
That's probably just the computer.
4% Czech Republican, 2% Switzerland, and 0.002% Chinese.
So the 2%
from that part I bought on AliExpress and put on the foot peg.
Wait a minute, did you make those calculations or?
Yeah, no, I did. So I can tell you, when I looked at like the brake systems, the discs, the calipers, master cylinder, Brembo. Italian, right?
Ciao.
Right?
Can anybody else guess what Switzerland?
What's
the oil?
Yes.
Yes,
exactly.
Motorex, of course, yes.
Because it comes with Motorex oil. Oh,
sorry.
Braking stuff. That
was his shin.
My clutch master cylinder is a company called Magura.
It's German.
Yeah, exactly. And this was interesting. The KTM shocks, WP suspension.
Yeah, that should be Austrian.
Get closer to the mic when you talk.
Oh, sorry.
It should be.
Yeah.
But where does WP suspension
White
come
power.
from? Stop it. Where does it come from? That was the Netherlands. That was a company that came out of the Netherlands that they bought and brought in-house and moved the factory to Austria. DID rims and chain. Japan, exactly. That's where I get that from. USA. So I gave this 0.5%.
The tires?
USA.
Wait,
the tires?
you have a
No.
saddle cover?
No. Tires are actually Mitas or Mitas?
Yes.
Czech Republic.
Really?
Yeah. So, no, I found out, and I went deep in this. There's 2 oil pumps in the 690, and those are from a company called Eaton. That is a USA company. They make oil pumps for all sorts of machinery.
Well, and they, funnily enough, they also make superchargers for Ford Mustangs.
Stuff like that. So that's the USA. Oil pumps. The slipper clutch is Italy. The Bosch ABS system. German,
yeah. It's that Bosch.
And I even went so deep. I was telling Jim, I was looking up things like the relays on like eBay so I could zoom in on the pictures because I was like, oh, it could be Bosch, it could be Nippon, like a lot of people. So the relays are Japanese. Didn't get the brand. Yeah, so there you go. I've got Austrian, Italian, Germany, Netherlands, Japan, USA, Czech Republic, Swiss, and China because of the
just
part I threw on.
How did you make the conversion from these companies, places, to the percentage?
My math? I guessed.
Thank you.
Yes.
Same way I would have done.
And I would
I told everyone to come up with their own. You could. I was like, do you go by mass? Do you go by weight?
Yes.
I'm like,
Volume.
What's the difference?
I attributed the whole brake system 10% of the bike, right? I don't know. I just did a guess.
And I
Super
just
good
want to
enough.
remind you, Liza, there are no kangaroos in Austria.
So yeah, Emma.
Yes.
How about you? You did.
So I did my Harley Davidson Superglide.
Yeah.
Now
That's pure America right there.
Yeah, it is America. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, the list betrays a different story. So, in fairness to Harley Davidson, the tins, the bodywork, the seat, the frame, and most of the engine is actually American. However, the bearings in the engine, most notably the main bearings, are by SKF, which are German. The clutch plates are by Sachs, which are Austrian. The spark plugs are NGKs, which are Japanese. The ECU, because remember, mine's fuel injected, is by a company called Vallejo, which is actually, for the motorcycle, is based in Hungary. Cool. The forks are Showas, which are Japanese. The rear shocks are also Showas, but they're based in Indonesia.
Oh.
The tyres are Michelin's, which are Spaniards. The brake pads in mine are Golfers, because I put them in, and they're Spaniards. The headlight, I've got an ancient CV Marshall headlight in it, which of course is French. The battery is a Yuasa, which is Japanese. The paint, because remember I painted it?
yeah.
I painted it with Glasurit paint, which is German. However, the graphics I used are from the good old USA. They were made in Oregon. The mirrors, I used Drag Specialties mirrors, so of course they're made in good old China. And the speedometer was made by Mitsubishi, which is Japanese. Because it's got an electronic speedo.
So what percentage American is your bike?
No, I did an incredibly complex calculation in my head. And I figured out that my Harley-Davidson Superglide is about 56% American.
Ooh.
By volume. By volume.
Wow. All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
All right. Which bike did you do?
I did my Triumph 800 XRT.
That's
British.
as British as I am, darling.
I know. I'm a little afraid to do this in front of you. To be honest with you. Well, it was designed in Britain, for sure. It was. It was made in Thailand.
Oh.
So, and I couldn't get to all the details, but I assume that frames are put together there and all those things. So, front brakes are what's interesting is Brembo, but Brembo are designed in Italy, but I couldn't tell the difference. It was either manufactured in Michigan or Mexico.
Oh.
So Brembo has a fab in Mexico. What?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Okay. Nissan is a rear with plants in Ohio, Georgia, USA, Mexico, Brazil, India, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, and China. So take your pick there.
Vietnam.
It's a mutt.
It's like getting it to pound. Pound bike.
Showa suspension, Japanese.
Yeah.
Metzler Torrance tires are from Germany. Bosch. So the traction control is Bosch, but Bosch Rexroth, which is a company that they bought, designed in Germany, made in Mexico. And the rims are Excel rims, which are made in Japan. So, and one other thing I did, I thought about like, hey, what if there was a celebrity that was this bike? Person that popped into my mind is former Mrs. Tom Brady, Giselle Bundchen. So, you know, says she's Brazilian, but she's really German. And so you know, so she's claiming Brazil like the Triumph claims Italy, or England, but really, you know, she has parts from Europe.
That's interesting because when I did the genetics on mine, I found out my bike is a distant cousin to Harrison Ford.
Really?
Yeah, and that it shares some of the same DNA with the drink Sex on a Beach.
Really?
Yeah, because it'll go anywhere, get there. Just like, okay.
There we go.
Yeah, so similar DNA. So what percentage British is your bike, would you say?
Oh, man. I'm going to give them 10% just for the design.
It's only 10%.
For the font. For the font of the logo.
Emma, close your ears.
Wow.
Am I off base there or what?
No, I think that's about fair.
Wow.
Where does the chrome come from?
Well, that would be from Thailand.
Yeah.
There's no chrome.
There is no chrome on it.
There is
on
no
it.
chrome on that bike.
That
Would you
is
like to
sad.
know what my Harley's distant cousin is?
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds.
Oh,
yes,
that
you
makes sense.
know it.
That makes sense. So, Jim,
Yes. Well, yeah.
I'd ride
you
Burt
did
Reynolds
your
too, give me
Africa
a chance.
Twin?
Yeah, so I thought I'd do the Africa Twin. And
It's Japanese all the way, right?
Yeah, I'm going to try to see if I can do a sound thing, so it probably won't work. Let's see. Oh, here we go, yeah.
What?
It sounds like gibberish. Yeah. That's Japanese for pure.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I was not.
No.
I was not going to try to say it because it would be horrible. So, but anyway, so I was curious about the Africa Twin, and I'm like, ooh, I wonder if something's made in Brazil. I wonder if something's made in Thailand. And so I started checking into it. And I think as we talk about other motorbikes, it's one of the flagship models.
It's a flagship bike, so it doesn't surprise me at all.
So just like what is it? The Nighthawk 250 is also right. But so everything for the most part, or actually everything I could find is made in Japan. So
wow.
Engine obviously, and it's fun. You can watch videos of putting the whole bike together actually. So but you think about it, right? And you're like Showa suspension. What is it? Nissan brakes? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Nissan brakes. And then I went through like the parts catalogs and stuff, and everything seems to be genuine Honda, and for the most part, made in Japan. It seems like. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know, like bearings or fork seals or things like that.
No, I think you're probably going to be right on the money.
Yeah, so I was pleasantly surprised by that. So it is full on Japanese.
Wow.
So yeah, I think that's it.
Well, and any distant relatives?
Well, here's the connection to Africa. You'd asked that earlier.
Yeah.
So there's a distinct thing about the Africa Twin that absolutely connects it to Africa. Emma, you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what
you describe it. It's much
No.
So it has something to do with the exhaust note. So if you listen to the exhaust note of the Africa Twin,
and it's very deliberate. It was actually done that way.
Especially if you pull it.
Is there metal in the cat that came from Africa?
Oh, I don't. Yeah, no, it's
Probably.
It's lion. It's lion roar. They bottled it in there, but especially if you pull the baffles out. But no, at certain times, as you're running the bike, it will sound like a drumming sound.
It
like
sounds like a
African
tribe.
drums.
It sounds like a tribal drum.
Yep.
And it was a very deliberate. They got that. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah.
So it's fun. So anyway, there's the connection there. Other than that, it's onigaishimasu all the way.
Wow. All right, Bagel. Tell me the Vespa is purely
Yes, Bagel, please.
purely Italian.
Well, the Vespa that I used was my 2010 Vespa GTS 300, and it is not 100% Italian, but it is.
Bagel.
But I would say it is pretty close. Let me start with the non-Italian parts first.
Okay.
The O2 sensor is made by a company called Tyco, which is owned by Johnson Controls, which I believe is an American company.
Yes, it is.
There's the coil is made by a company called Beru from Germany, although it's branded as Magnetti Morelli. But it's made in Germany, so that has to count as German. The fuel pump was made in Czechia. The Yuasa battery is made in Japan, I believe, at least. The drive belt is made by Hitachi, also Japanese. There were a few Chinese parts that I found. The stator is made in China. The injector, I believe, is made in China, but could not confirm. And I suspect that the shocks may be from China as well. The stock shocks on the GTS 300 were not that great. The wheels on this one were made in Italy, but later Vespas, other Vespas had wheels made in China as well. The CVT transmission is largely made by TGB out of Taiwan. And the tires that were on there originally were Pirellis, which I believe were made somewhere in Eastern Europe. But they also equipped them with Savas made in Croatia or Michelin's made in Serbia. So those are not Italian. And then India makes the coolant hoses and I think a few other rubber parts.
Just a few things.
Yeah, but those are all tiny little parts. The entire frame and the bodywork, all the plastics and the seat are all made in Italy. All the electrical components, well, just about all the electrical components, I should say, including the lights, the ECU, are made by Italian companies like Magnetti Morelli, CEV, Trio M. And the wiring, I'm not sure where that's made. That could be from China, could be from Italy. There's no way to really tell. All of the cast metal parts, I believe, are made in Italy. But again, it's possible that some may be made in China because Piaggio does have a factory in China that makes a lot of engines and other engine parts. So it's possible that some of the production of the individual parts is in China, and then they're assembled and machined in Italy. The brakes are Grimeca, also an Italian company. So the vast majority of the bike is Italian. I would say it's about 90%.
Hey, that's amore.
That's amore.
Well, and any distant relatives?
Yes, I found that the bike is the third cousin twice removed of Roberto Benigni.
I was hoping for Sophia Loren. Come on.
that would be the Vespa 946.
Well done. Isn't it interesting? Now you have me. I want to challenge the 100% Africa Twin.
Okay.
I have my own that I
Tires?
can go test, but I'm like, yeah. What is on there that maybe?
Well, even the tires, right? They are
Bridgestone, trail
Bridgestone,
wings.
yes.
Yeah.
So where are Bridgestone motorcycles tire made?
Yeah.
I don't know.
In
Where?
Japan.
Oh, wow.
And you
Okay.
do have to check that. You can't. I mean, like Michelin. Everyone goes, "Oh, Michelin's French." Well, Michelin have got plants in France, which is the big one. Spain. Most of the sport bike tires are made in Spain. They do have a plant in the USA as well.
And I'm a big fan of their stars.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I like eating in restaurants that have a
Yes.
Michelin star.
Yes. Oh, maybe we can do that next month.
Do you remember what the Michelin man's called?
Bib.
Monsieur Bib. You remember that? When we did our thing on tubes? We did a little Misfits episode on
That's right.
Monsieur Bib.
Well, there you go. I encourage if anyone else wants to find out the DNA on their bikes, because here's the question, and we don't have the answer to the question. I think we can guess as best as anyone else can, but I want to know, how far back do you have to go? I mean, to get a purely American bike, 100% American bike. I'm guessing like pre-war.
Yeah, pre-war, post-war. Yeah,
Harley.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, with some post-war, I would think early post-war.
Right, but I mean, it's
probably
it's,
not past the 60s.
Oh, well, I was going to say, I think the 60s were a turning point because it got cheap to move things around. And, you know, back in the 1940s, 1950s, I mean, every country made basically products for themselves. And if somebody overseas liked it, that was great. And thus, you know, Harley Davidson was basically made for Americans from American components. English bikes were basically made for English people. But they did rather well over here because they were light and fast. So
I bet one of the first things that came from overseas post-war was the carburetors.
Oh, I'm sure.
I bet you that was one of the first.
Well, not just that, just influence too. When you look at the competition with like British bikes, and then you get into like Aramaki and its infusion in Harley Davidson, right?
Is that carbs because of airplanes? I wonder.
I mean, it
like
could
the
be
transition from airplanes to motorbikes.
Well, and I mean,
cost.
The cost,
okay.
and you know the British bikes have always done well with carburetors, and British cars as well, because you've always had to do more with less. I mean, American vehicles have always had this love affair with cubic inches and these giant engines, including in the bikes. Whereas in Europe, you know, you have maybe a 1,000cc engine in a car or a 500 or a 350 engine in a bike, and it'd better carburate well because it's still got to get you down the road. So you get good at making efficient carburetors. So, yeah, I kind of agree, you know. Electrical systems, carbureting systems, that's probably...
So, yeah, if you know the answer to that question, or if you want to share your bike's DNA, send us an email at motorcyclesandmisfits@gmail.com.
Or share your DNA if you've got something interesting going on. Yes,
that's
absolutely. If you find you're related to Attila the Hun, I would love to meet you.
Well, you know what is 100% UK?
What?
Emma?
No, but the tour that I want to do in August. So we're still trying to see if there's enough people who have interest to do my UK dream trip in August. We don't have exact dates, but I think we're looking at 10 to 12 days. We're looking at about $5,000 and going from Ace Cafe up to the Triumph factory for a factory tour up in Birmingham.
Yes.
Right? Birmingham, yeah. Yeah, and then over do a tour of Wales, and then take the ferry over, do a lap at Isle of Man. That's on my bucket list. And we're trying to fit in some other fun, cool stuff, like maybe a night at a speedway race.
How about Scotland?
Well, that's not, I don't think, in the 10 or 12 days. But just if somebody's interested, we're just taking people signing up on our list of you know, if you're interested, send me an email, motorcyclesandmisfits@gmail.com. If we get enough people interested, we're going to make this happen. Because I'm not as popular as Emma is, who has 2 tours that people are signing up for.
I think the training tour, the Dolomites training tour, is close to being full. Mm-hmm. We are still selling tickets for the Curves and Castles tour, which is taking place mostly in Germany and Austria. Sign up for it. They're great tours, and you get to hang out with me.
Link in the show notes. Layout Escapes.
Layout Escapes.com.
.com.
Yep.
Yeah, where you can find those tours. Real quick, we're going to get some emails done. Bagel, there's one I sent you. I will read this first one, and this one is from Jason. And he says, "Hey, Misfits, congratulations on the 500 episodes."
Oh, thank you, Jason.
Thanks. Sounds like you all had a blast. I wish I could have been there. I hope by the time you get this email that the weather is improving, and it has.
Well timed.
I've put some thought into the bike twin topic.
Oh, yes.
So, for those who don't know, I have a theory that every bike has a separated at birth twin that is a car, right? And so people have been sending us in their separated at birth bike and car. So he says, so I found the twin for my 2015 Kawasaki Vulcan 900 Custom, and he believes it is a 1964 Chevy Impala SS Lowrider. He says it's a comfortable cruiser and has the power to get up and go when I want to, but the pictures attached will shed some more light. Keep it up and take care. He says, P.S. I did not paint my bike. That is the way it comes from the factory with the custom ghost flames. I wasn't looking for something so flashy, but I can't deny I love the look of it. And then he's got a SS, like a lowrider with custom.
Oh yeah, look, there you go.
On it. I'm
That's
like
gangster.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that is pretty good. Vulcan 900. Yeah, yeah, good one.
I'll buy into that.
Emma, you have one there?
I have one here from, where is he? Sam!
Hey, Sam.
Hello, Sam.
From,
Hey, Sam.
and I'm insanely jealous of Sam, and I'll come to that. Loving the podcast. Came across them by accident, and now I'm hooked. I'm from Belfast, Northern Ireland, over 40, but still hip. Ha ha! My favourite bits are readers' comments and questions. Well, you're listening to them now, Sam.
Yeah.
Incidentally, I recommend, I don't normally do film recommendations, but last year when I went over to Italy to do the training tour, I saw a wonderful film by Kenneth Branagh called Belfast, and I recommend everyone to see it. It's an absolute masterpiece. It's wonderful. Anyway, I feel I know you all. Well, you do. I mean, to hear us on the podcast is to know us intimately.
Certainly now.
Exactly.
Especially once you've seen the Naked Ride video.
Mm-hmm.
He's riding one of my favourite bikes of all time.
Yeah.
I ride a
Hayabusa.
a GSX 1400. And I tried to ride a KTM 250 Enduro. Thank you all, and maybe get to meet you all sometime if you ever come to Ireland for a wee tour. By the way, my T-shirt size is medium. Haha, ride safe, Sam.
That gets
I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stand Sam a T-shirt.
All right.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I'll send, because he's riding a GSX 1400, which requires testicles of steel.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sam, I'm going to buy you a T-shirt, mate.
All right.
That's brilliant.
And for anyone else, you can go to motorcyclesandmisfits.com and you can find T-shirts in our store. In fact, some of the last year's models, I only have a few left, and I marked them down like $15.
Yeah, he's getting one of the $15 ones. So
in an extra small.
Well, if he takes a medium, if we give him an extra small, he's going to look super buff in it. I'm actually doing you a favour, Sam. No, I'll get him a if we've got a medium in last year's, that's I'll stand him one.
Yeah, we'll see. I only have a couple. We'll see. All right, we got
Throw in a
time
dildo.
for one more.
What?
Oh my gosh.
That's what we do sometimes.
Bagel, what you got there?
I have an email from Andy Wessel.
Blimey, that's Andy.
And Andy writes, I have a question for the resident scooter expert.
That's you.
My wife and I have recently been bitten by the scooter bug.
Oh, God.
And have been putting on tons of miles. I've rode motorcycles my whole 27 years of existence, but she's only got about 1,500 miles of experience. Here's the question. We're vacationing in North Carolina this year, and one of my bucket list items is to ride the tail. I am confident in my ability to tackle the dragon on a scoot, but I'm nervous it might be too much for the wife. Is the tail of the dragon too much for a second-year scooterist? Well, I think that depends on what kind of riding she has already used to doing. He didn't say where he's from, so I couldn't really even guess, but if he's from someplace, or Liza, do you have something you wanted to add?
Oh, you finish yours, and then I have my opinion.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if you're used, if she's used to
we don't
riding,
need to see a hand for that.
if she's used to riding on flat, straight roads, the dragon might be a little daunting because it is all curves, and there are a number of turns that are off camber or are very tight or deceptively just deceptive in the way that they're arranged. So you really need to be ready for them. So my advice would be if she's interested in riding the Dragon, I would have her practice on some other curvy roads first. Roads where there's not a lot of traffic, that are not super fast roads, where she can get used to the handling of the bike on curves and get used to how to apply the right amount of counter steer, and how to take the right line into curves and coming out of them. And once she's used to that, and has a good feel for it and feels comfortable with it, then I think she's good for the Dragon. But I would also recommend do not do the Dragon on the weekends, because it is just a parking lot. So you will not have fun on the Dragon on the weekends. Do it during the week if you have the chance.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. Somebody who's ridden it a bunch of times. It's not so much about your ability to handle the curves. It's about your ability to handle all the sport bikes and BMW cars trying to pass you, and
people driving RVs on the Dragon.
Yes, and people on Harleys coming at you and crossing over the double yellow.
Sounds fun.
It is the coolest road for like 14 states, so everybody goes down there. So there's a lot of traffic. If you aren't comfortable with dealing with traffic coming at you and behind you and around you while you're navigating curves, I would say no. It's not just navigating the curves, it's dealing with all of that and being ready to pivot at any moment.
Sounds like Dakar.
Yeah, dealing
exactly.
with all the humanity.
Instead, why don't you get her in the Dakar and
exactly.
do some sand dunes first.
Or better still, get her a nice little motorbike, because scooters are death traps and never should be ridden above 20 miles an hour anyway.
Seriously, though,
right, Bagel?
Is the Tail of the Dragon more of a challenging, twisty, fun, quick road, or is it a 30-mile-an-hour zone with an insane amount of traffic that's trying to go 70?
Probably the latter.
A little of both. I mean, I don't think the speed limit on the Dragon is more than like 30 or 35.
It is 30.
But there's nowhere for like a cop to hide and give you a ticket. Yeah. So
if you hit it like on a Tuesday morning,
a little bit,
you could probably rip on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was also going to say, if you can hit it first thing in the morning is the best time, because that's when there's going to be the least traffic on it.
Yeah. So if she can manage the Trader Joe's parking lot, she'll be okay there.
Well, I mean, it's more than just a parking lot, though. You need to understand how to approach curves with the bike, because you can't get that in a parking lot. You have to be in the environment where there's elevation changes, where you go down into drops and it goes around. And it's like you need to know how to control that bike through those curves.
And to a certain extent, the Dolomites are exactly the same way. If you had the Dolomites to yourself, it'd be an absolutely wonderful thing, but you don't. You have to share them with trucks, with cars, some very fast cars. People who are a lot quicker than you on motorcycles, people who are a lot slower than you on motorbikes, and
I gotta say, the closest I ever get to any of that is Highway 17, by the way. Fuck all y'all Dolomites.
Actually, the other recommendation I'd have, and I want to see if Craig will support me on this, sign up for an advanced rider class at a local school.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the best way.
That would be the best way to make sure that she's fully equipped.
I would say start with the beginner, then take the intermediate, and then you can take the advanced and keep continuing that education to best prepare you.
People can come to your class on a Vespa?
Absolutely. We have people bring Vespas all the time to the school.
Do you heckle them?
No, they're fully encouraged, because our schools in San Francisco, a lot of people up there, they just want to ride. They have no interest necessarily in getting the fast 1,000cc sport bikes. They just want something to cruise those San Francisco streets. They come, bring their scooter to the class, get licensed, get trained up, and then we train them sometimes on the motorcycles if they ever. That's the one thing we do recommend, is if they bring the scooter, we say, here's a motorcycle. If you learn the clutch, if ever 10 years down the road you want to upgrade to a motorcycle, then that's encouraged. If you want to be a scooterist forever, that's also completely fine.
And if somebody shows up to take your class on a quad, what do you say?
Get out of here!
There it is. There it is. So, hey, this is that time where we thank everyone, but I want to especially thank Mo for coming and sharing.
Yeah.
Your
Big
story.
shout out to Mo. Yeah,
But
yeah.
also, hey man, Santa Cruz proud.
Yeah.
You're one of
I know,
ours.
I know. Wow.
That's even cooler. Hey, and anytime you want to get a fix, come on down on a Sunday and hang out with us while we're wrenching on bikes. And I might be hitting you up to see if you're going to be available during our rally.
Can I ask you one
bring your bike
question?
down and show it off.
That we didn't ask Mo. What do you do for a living?
I have about 5 jobs to pay for my rally habit.
Right. I kind of gathered that.
I do IT support, mostly network engineering for
Okay.
local to small, small, medium-sized businesses locally. All the auto groups down in Watsonville, and then
Right.
some optometric centers here in town. More and Son outboards and More and Son bikes. And
But you have the kind of job that's going to give you sufficient financial clout to do this to a certain extent.
I don't make any money if I'm not there. That's the one.
Well, yeah, there's the problem.
Yeah.
So
And I also
you
do some work with these pro race sailing teams, Grand Prix sailing teams. So have a background in sailing, which is a whole nother conversation about navigation.
Wow. Okay.
Compass work and stuff for the bikes comes from
interesting.
from the sailing background. I spent 8 years trying to qualify for the Olympics in sailing.
Wow. You got that adventure spirit in you.
Yeah,
I told you.
That's the spark.
He's got the heart of a champion.
That's the spark.
You can tell they're different from the rest of us.
Yeah.
Well, and I just have one more question. This one's for Charlie. Charlie, have you been inspired by Mo?
Fuck that. Well, I mean, if it didn't cost like
There it is.
$100,000.
Yeah, well, maybe one day.
There's cheaper ways to do it. One of my teammates describes it as the cost of a F-150. And you can outfit those things many different ways, right?
Yeah.
So your budget is it's up to you. I mean, you could swim there. You don't have to fly. I mean, there's ways to cut corners.
So what are the closest dunes to us? Like Glamis is it?
I still think if you're actually the Dumont Dunes is probably preferred if you're on the U.S. side.
Yeah, because
And
Mexico is kind of far from here, and I got to work too.
It
It's
is.
Where's Dumont?
Dumont's it's outside Baker, kind of on the way to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're doing LA Barstow Vegas, when you're getting towards Vegas, you ride through the back side of that dune field.
Jim and I were talking about doing it actually pretty seriously. I think that might be next on the list.
Nice.
Baker's got the world's biggest thermometer.
Yo,
Oh, that place.
Yeah, that
That
place.
place.
I blew up a Lincoln Continental outside Baker, going up the grade, going to Vegas.
C4 or dynamite.
It's not super. It's not super close to Baker, but it's that part of the world.
Yeah,
I mean, if
that's-
you're going,
It's
if
that
you're,
neck of the woods.
if you're
Yeah.
going to Vegas, you should check it out.
No, but thank you for coming here, for representing Santa Cruz, representing America,
Yes.
and but also for just kind of showing people like you could do it.
Yeah, it's
You know?
possible. I wouldn't recommend it right now, but it's possible.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
Hey, and also big thanks to all of our listeners for hanging with us. I hope you're enjoying the year so far. We're really working on bringing more and more good content, and so glad to have people like Mo here. And also, we cannot forget our Patreon supporters. Thank you so much.
Big shout out to
Yeah.
them.
Hopefully people are coming to our rally in March. Sign up. Go to motorcyclesandmisfits.com. You'll find links there, and you'll find everything, including those T-shirts that are on sale. So I think we're ready to get out of here. Thank you so much. For those who've done it the first time, you follow along. You'll see how this goes. Let's get out of here. This is Liza.
Charlie. Scotty.
Stubby John.
Emma Darling.
Mo Hart.
Craig.
Ray.
Make a jam, son.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.
Cool.
Thank you.